Ooh, all right. Here's the now 11th update. Drilled the holes out, did all that today. Missed, I got the wrong pattern there, but that's cool because that means I've got two patterns to swap ECM if I needed. I vacuumed most of the shavings for now. This is the only one I'm mocking up to show you how it's going to look. Okay, imagine the bolts cut off, bolt heads, because that's coming next. Now that I've got these, I've got to make sure they all fit. And I'm not putting the hoses or anything on, but I'm going to make sure they fit. Double check the alignment on the box, because I think it's off a little bit. This side, one of these sides needs adjusted, but I didn't care for the time being. So I'll adjust that, because it's even up top. Up top, I measured it real good, but down bottom, it's a like tiny bit warped. So I'll adjust that. That sprocket's not tight. It's missing a screw too. Suckers. It might be in the bag. It doesn't look like it though. I probably got a screw, but yeah. And this is loose, so it keeps sliding over. But yeah, even if the alignment's off a little bit, that's fine. And you just stagger your hose clamps. That way it's fairly balanced. We're not spinning that fast. This is loose, but it'll have an air gap from the wall. It's about a 1/16 or so. And it can be snug against this hose. It's fine because they'll be spinning together. And then I may trim a little bit off. I need to clean these up. I got some tools that I can do that with later on. But because for now, really, I mean, I could technically cinch it all up, and the washers would clean a lot of it up. But because I don't think my, no, I might be able to fit it in there, the grinder. I might be able to clean some of it up, or get a round file. Anyway, put it in the drill. So yeah, I tried my best to match the ECM up, so white on white. And I put these in the corner because I figured I might be able to get more adjustment with 3, so I made them extra big since it's a corner. But yeah, that's how they're all going to couple, except for that bottom one down there, like I showed you in the last video, because that's going to direct drive, right? It's going to be probably about right there, coupled to this. And this is pretty stiff, man. It doesn't want to come out easy. You have to pry it with a screwdriver to get that out. So it's very tight. So that's going to help once it's stiffened up. When I lock it down, ooh, it'll make that like a pretty strong bar. Essentially, you know, going across, it's going to make it pretty strong. It's still flexible, but it'll be fine because the chain's going to be real close to the bearing. Over here, it'll be on this side. And I got a heavy-duty ECM, a 1-horse for that. The bearings are further apart, so it's going to give it a little more support, I think. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it's going to be a problem. The way I did the power transmission, that's obviously one of the reasons. Also, because I could have geared direct if I would have made this a little different. There's a few, because Tim wanted me to stack ECMs on top of each other. He's done it. And I could have used a rubber coupling to keep the shafts from touching because it messes with the lenses somehow. We're not 100% sure, but when it's directly coupled and you put them stacked, they do lens for some reason. Even if you sync them up and line them up and all this, it's still weird. Has a lot of resistance, so I like to leave them isolation. So no eddy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it's coming through the shaft because it's a solid shaft, but apparently it seems like it does. And he didn't try because he had a perfect ECM that was double stacked, so it had 2 1-horses together. So it was like a 2-horse, and it was awesome because it was perfect. Like the way he stacked it, it was beautiful. It looked like almost like it came like that. If he would have painted it, you would have probably believed it, but that it was a 2-horse. If he put a different label on it, anyway. Yep, that's how it's going to look. I got to cut these off, like I said, real flush. After I washer it, I'm going to count for the washer and then cut them. So it'll be whatever 2 washers are. Because I got some thin stainless washers, and I got a bunch of different washers that I could use here at the house. I got a bunch of stainless hardware. I like these jam nuts because they're kind of big, and and they're strong too. You don't really need to worry about locking. And I have enough that I'm gonna double cinch probably to lock these down. I'll just use a jam nut so that might change it. Yeah, I've got room. It looks like it. Yeah, it'd be tight, wouldn't it? No, I'll just leave it alone with a lock washer. Flat washer, lock washer. And I got some real thin 3/8 washers, real thin. They're like 1/16 or less. very, very thin. I use them to charge my battery on my power supply because I speed it up on my drill. But I can use those on the outside and then cinch it with another thin washer, I guess, and a lock wash, because I got plenty of 3/8 lock washers. That way I have more clearance for this chain. Yeah. Or I could cut the hose. I mean, it's not a big deal. I could cut another 1/8 inch off and move it. So I'll figure it out. I might go ahead and do jam nut and move it, because jam nut, man, it's hard to beat. That's how the old school guys did it. As long as they're cinched together, it's not going to loosen. So that's one way to do it, or you use a regular lock wash or whatever. It doesn't matter. But they do need to be locked, because this is going to be vibrate. Even though this is balanced better than the red one, it's going to vibrate a little bit. So we'll do that. Make sure everything stays tight. I got to redo the bolts on this motor because they're very short. That was just to test it and make sure it stayed on here when I started it, so I didn't want it to jump. But I'm going to replace those. I might go up to 5/16 size from 3/8. I'm sorry, 7/16. Yeah, go up a little, because I've got some 7/16 bolt. They're oddball, very oddball thread too, but they would probably fit this great for this motor. Be a little bit bigger than 3/8 too, because this is 10 horse. I mean, it's probably fine because I got grade 8. Those aren't grade 8, but the ones holding the motor are grade 8 bolts. So yeah, I'm gonna see what I got, because it's easy to drill out, and then I need to make those holes bigger too, because with washers, because I need to adjust the motor for the chain a little bit. So that'll be one adjust, because I'll get the chain real close on the link, and then I'll try my best to do it without a tensioner. If I can get away with it, it'd be great, and I think I can. I think I can do it. Even though it's over on the torque side, it'll be fine. That chain won't care. Oh, it's tight. So if it does, I'll put spring-loaded tensioner or something on it. But anyway, last update for now. I've got the shell I got to put on here. I've got the caps. I don't know if I mentioned that last video. With some nice sight windows. You'll see that. That's for all 3 sides, so the chain can't come out of this box. And that way, when I finally get it all chained up, because I won't wire it right away, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it spinning and then take it outside and test it and see how everything's turning, make sure nothing looks like it's in a bind. Then I'll feel everything, make sure there's no heat, like on a shaft that would indicate there's a lot of strain or something like that. So I can work that out. The chain itself on this side at least will kind of help support it a little bit, keeping it together, but on this side it's going to rely on the bearing on the ECM and that coupler, which should, because it's going to be a lateral load. It's going to, if it pulls at all, it'll pull this way. So, and it's going to be covered there because it's very close. This is a 8-inch gap, so that means the shaft's sticking out. I think it's 3.5 is what I was shooting for, or 3 3/4. I can't remember. I think it was 3 3/4 actually sticking out of the motor for the generator. So anywho, yep, that's it. And then I got to pick up more ECMs this weekend, and then we're going to put them on and get it hooked up, get these cut. I'll probably get these cut this week, those bolts. And then since I'll have the measurement, I'll go ahead and cut the other ones at work, because I can cut them real quick at work. Hell, I might cut more, but that's a lot of bolts though, man. I'll probably just do it here. Much faster with a grinder, because I know I can nail all of one side. This side will be a little tricky, but I can get most of them. I can get some from the top, and I could probably get in there. Oops, I could probably get in there and get quite a few in there. If there's a few that I got to take out, whatever, or take the ECM out, I'll work it out. But I can get most of them pretty easy. I'll just need to wear a face shield when I do that. This will be spraying everywhere. Go out in the parking lot. But yep. All right, 9 minutes. Peace.